Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Sarah, if we have not met, and today is another episode of our Talking About the Tightwad Gazette. If you're not familiar with it, the Tightwad Gazette was originally a newsletter that was sent by mail in the early 90s, founded by Amy Decision, and then it was compiled into 3 books, but this is just the Tightwad Gazette, and then there's 2 and 3, and then eventually they were compiled into a really thick paperback cover book called The Complete Tightwad Gazette. And for the last year or so, every once in a while, I've been going through and talking to you guys about things that are in these books, specifically the first one so far. The last one I did was about making granola in the 1990s way. This time, we're going to talk about an article called 3 Ways to Save. And she says that there are basically 3 methods to save money on any given item or service. And so the first one is to buy it cheaper, to make it last longer is the second, and the third is to use it less. So I think a lot of times we are focused really hard on the first principle, which is buy it cheaper. That's why there are so many haul videos, there are so many deal websites, all of those things. I can have whatever I want, I just have to buy it cheaper. And that's great, we should all be buying whatever we need to buy cheaper, but there's also these other 2 ways to save. And the second one, like I said, is making it last longer, and number 3 is using it less. So I'll talk about her examples here, and then we'll talk about my thoughts on it as well. So the first one was, well, she says, you can use any of these 3 methods independently or in conjunction, and the more that you combine them, of course, the more you're going to save. So she talks, first of all, about buying shoes. It says, if you are buying a pair of shoes for $75, and it lasts you 6 months, you're spending $150 a year on shoes. And so I feel like that was really expensive shoes in the 90s, because $75 is about what I'm spending on my older boys. My 15-year-old and my 12-year-old boys have foot problems. My 15-year-old has had surgery, and he's going to have another one in December, and we have to buy good shoes. And so we buy them Skechers. That seems to work best. My 15-year-old wears a size 15, and not a ton of brands have that available in stock in stores. So anyway, so we're spending $75 about every 6 months for shoes for him. So strategy number 1 is buy it cheaper. So of course we are always looking for sales, deals. If we ever find them used, we can buy gently used shoes for him because he has prescription orthotic insoles. But the idea is, if you're going to buy it cheaper, it's usually best to start looking ahead of time and not wait until the very last minute whenever you need something. So if you find a sale and they are only $60 and you buy 2 pairs to put back, then the next 2 times for the next year, you would not have to pay $75 a pair, you'd be paying $60 a pair. Method number 2 is to make it last longer. So that mentions getting your shoes reheeled. I don't even know if that's a thing. They're talking about like dress shoes. And then 3, it says use it less. So, and the example was to double the life of your shoes by wearing last year's old shoes for street use. Of course, we do that. He has, like my 15-year-old has 2 pairs of tennis shoes, the ones that he's currently wearing for like out and about, and the last pair that he wears at home for work. There's not really a good way of getting shoes to make them last longer, other than things like, you can get shoe goo, you can repair them temporarily, those kinds of things, replace laces, all of that. So it says with strategy just number 1, you're going to spend $120 instead of $150 for your 2 pairs of shoes in a year. If you employ strategy 2, you're going to be spending $85. That's getting them reheeled. So the first 6 months you would wear the $75 shoes, then you would have them rehealed, wear them for another 6 months. That rehealing is only $10. And strategy 3, doubling the use by wearing older shoes half the time would mean that you'd spend $75 a year. But of course you can combine all of these, and she says if you do 1 and 2, you're spending 70, 1 and 3, 60, 2 and 3, 42.50, or if you do all three, $35. So it kind of goes through the same thing with a few more examples. So like if you're spending a lot on coffee, you're going to buy it cheaper, look for sales, make it last longer, reuse grounds a second time, adding just a little bit new, use it less, cut your consumption down. $75 a month for gasoline is the next example. So buy it cheaper. She says learn to pump your own gas, find the cheapest gas stations. Now that's easy with apps like Gas Buddy, where it shows you where the cheapest gas is in any given area. Also apps like Upside, which I use all the time, which gives you cash back for your gas, so obviously you're getting it cheaper in the long run. She said method number 2, which is make it last longer. Giving your car a tune-up, oil change, all those things, helping it to run more efficiently. You're going to use less, or it says 15% improved mileage. I feel like that's using less, not necessarily making it last longer, making your car last longer. And then using it less, which is method number 3. She says reduce your transportation by carpooling, combining trips, those kinds of things. And basically you can drop your gas bill from $75 a month to $38.25. They must not drive much, and gas must be cheap in the 90s. And then the last example that they have in here, it says you're getting your hair cut every 6 weeks for $25, including tip. The annual cost is $216.67. Number 1, buy it cheaper, shop around for a better deal, a salon that does it cheaper. It says make it last longer, and she says no savings here. I haven't figured out how to make your hair grow slower, but you could maybe cut things just a little bit shorter than you would ordinarily prefer, stretch it out a little bit, and then use it less, doing self trims at home and being able to stretch it out longer in between professional cuts. I don't know anything about it. I get my hair cut once every 2 years or so professionally, just to kind of even it up. In the interim, I just trim it, and I go to a very cheap in-home salon. I think the last time I went, it cost me like $15 or $18. I had it washed, dried, and cut, and it was done. But that says, you know, you can drop that cost from $216 down to $81.25, it says. So, yeah, this is definitely, I guess, the main 3 ways to save money. We're always, like I said, always looking to buy it cheaper. Everybody's doing that. Everybody should be doing that. The second one, make it last longer. This is something that I have been thinking lately. We need to do a better job at that, and maybe I'll do another video on it. But things like laundry detergent, I usually do okay with laundry detergent because I'm measuring it in. I'm the only person in our house who really does laundry. Dish soap, my kids like, you know, squirt in a bunch. Shampoo, conditioner. We were using too many paper towels, so I just put them away, and no one was allowed to use them at all. But being able to just make things last longer, cutting open toothpaste tubes. What else? Using, well, I guess that's the next one. Okay, so it says use it less as the third one. But things like whenever we put cheese on a casserole, like it doesn't have to be heavily cheesed. It can just be a little bit. What else? Using it less. Using the dryer less, you know, hanging things out more. Anything that has a cost to it, if we can cut down the amount of times we're using it, is going to save us money. So I would love to know what you guys think. Are you agreeing that these are the 3 main ways? Are there, I feel like everything else basically falls under one of these 3 ways to save money, or do you think there's something else that's like completely out of those 3? And also, is there anything that you're thinking you need to do better on, or that you would encourage other people to do better on? I always enjoy doing these and reading and kind of giving myself food for thought and analyzing where I can do better. So that's it for today, guys. I will see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Bye.